Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to All Things Alvalade on episode 194. And today we've got a full house for you. But before we get into anything, let me introduce you to my co-host. First, got the main man, Chris. How you doing today, man?
Doing all right. Obviously, I guess a bit of a frustrating game. Probably our worst game of the season in this young season so far. Missed a chance, I suppose, to go isolated at the top, but we're still hanging in there. It's tight at the top. We've got a lot of other league-wide nonsense to talk about. It could be a long season, but yeah, I guess I'm decently content with our position after 4 games.
Yeah, fair enough. And next up, we got Richard. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. Like Chris said, would have been nice to go solely at the top. Bit of a missed chance. Bit of a weird game, for sure. Weird stuff going on. A big meme weekend for the Portuguese league. We got that international exposure we've been craving. We were talking about it last week, but not in our game. We'll get to that though, I'm sure.
Yeah, most definitely. And last but not least, we got Danny. How you doing today, man?
I'm good. I was actually watching this game at a Braga buddy's house. So I was like really wanting to like rub it into his face, but unfortunately couldn't. But yeah, overall content. I mean, typical Sporting. Porto drop points, so it's only natural for us to drop points as well, So
yeah, most definitely. And of course, I am your host, Sam, who obviously didn't get the yellow memo today. Everyone else is in brighter colors.
Sort of fluorescent stuff.
You got the Paulinho in the background, though.
You do.
Yeah,
exactly. In the back.
Got my bases covered, of course. And then also follow All Things Alvalade on Twitter there. Without further ado, let's get straight into the game. So obviously, it was a 1-1 draw versus Braga. There were some controversies on the pitch and with refereeing and also with sort of tactical decisions. But before we get into that, let me read you out the lineup. So in goal, we had Adan, Diamonde Coates, Inacio, Morita, Hujmaland, Esgaio, Nuno Santos, Paulinho, Pedro Gonçalves, and Gyökeres. Off the bench came Marcus Edwards, Jenny, Daniel Bragança, Trincão, and Fresneda. Danny, I'll give it to you first. What were your overall thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, first half, I don't know. Like after we scored the goal, basically, I felt like we weren't the better team. It was a very like divided game afterwards. I thought in terms of like the result, the reason why we lost, I have to put it on Amorim this time. I'm his biggest defender, but I do have to question the substitutions. Pot was maybe our best player. I see Diamande got man of the match. Fair enough. He did have a great game as well. But Pot, I think, was our best player, our more threatening player going forward. And we subbed them off. We subbed them off for Trincão. I'm not exactly sure why. Even Edwards coming in, man, like another smeller from Edwards. I know he's coming in, so it's a little hard, but you had 45 minutes there. And Paulinho didn't do much, but I think you can make the argument Edwards maybe did a little less. But the goal, it came off of a great goal from Pot. He just basically kind of one-timed it. Like he let the ball go through. He was, I guess, questioning whether to cut left.
That's an old school Pot goal. All Pot goals.
Yeah, it was a bit of a.
He passes them into the net. Like he doesn't score with his laces, and he didn't this time either.
This one smashed the top in, so can't be mad at that. Exactly. And then right after, but like I was saying, like right after the goal, I felt Braga like got right back into the game, and I mean, I feel like they were a little more threatening, though. I think most of the chances came from Sporting, if I'm not mistaken. Second half, I think it was like Gyökeres or something makes it through on goal, but Matheus with a big save. It might have been called offside afterwards, not sure. But and then the goal that we scored, the goal that they scored, great free kick. I can't shit on it on that case. I'm shitting on the 2 players. I think it was.
He's slow to react.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it is pretty top cheese.
It's a nice finish. It
is a good finish. I feel like everybody.
But I'll be honest, the great goalie saves that. Average goalies let it in.
The great goalie at least.
And we have an average goalie. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, I feel like if the 2 there jump, we block it or we get ahead to it.
Yeah, everybody in that situation could have done better.
Yeah. I mean, so that's my take on it. I can't remember the exact foul to really question if
it was a Bragança foul, and it was like
yes, okay, yeah.
He just kind of got tangled
in midfield.
Yeah. He couldn't really move out of the way, but it was
probably a foul, but it's a bit soft, I suppose. But they're always going to call that, especially not in the box.
And especially in the Portuguese league too. Other than that, man, I mean, Hulman did well. The goal was unlucky. That
surprise sub. That I was actually shocked how early he came off. To be honest,
me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people shitting on Bragança. I'm not saying he dropped a great performance. I don't think he dropped a 4.9 though. That's a little wild there. But I hear where everybody's coming from. I hear the frustration because we had it there and we lost the game. But I won't put the entire blame on Bragança. I don't think he was that bad. Other than that, Fresneda unfortunately didn't have enough of an impact.
Yeah.
Or enough of a game to like enough time on the game to really like see what he's all about. But Jenny, Jenny looked good. I kind of liked Jenny. I think you guys said it either this week or last week. He's like a typical street baller. All he has is flair and then nothing else. I kind of agree with you guys. But I don't know. Like he just can't play wing back if that's all he's about. Like I'd rather him where Edwards is and just to push the ball forward and maybe find the pass or something rather than on wing back because he's just too wide to make any sort of difference. And like you said, like his crossing isn't there. His shots aren't there. You know, he can maybe sideways pass it, but that's about as much as it goes. But yeah, that's my take on the game.
Yeah, fair enough. Christian, what about you? What are your overall thoughts on the game?
Like Dan. I mean, to be honest, like the chances I feel like were not few. I guess honestly, few and far between. There wasn't that many for either side. XGs for both sides are pretty low, both under a half. You know, it's not like there is ample opportunity for finishing going on here. I will say this game kind of demonstrated. We were questioning if Vic was a human cyborg or not. It turns out I think he might be human.
He is man. He is man, not machine.
Yeah, he is man.
He had a lot of poor touches. I almost
really bad. He reminded me of
Chermiti,
and I think I said that in our chat. He had a little Chermiti game today. Just inability to control the ball. I think he had like eight missed controls or something like that. Not over half his touches or half the balls he received he missed control. I mean, that's just not what we're expecting from him, you know. And like Danny mentioned, he had a one-on-one with the keeper, may have been offside, but didn't finish it. It's a tough game for him. It's funny though because I actually saw a stat like a couple weeks ago that Gyökeres has only been subbed off one time in like his last 100 appearances, like all comps, all clubs, and he was horrible today, but he didn't get subbed out. So wow. I mean, he's keeping that stat alive. I suppose.
That's a hell of a stat.
Yeah, it was like I think between 90 and 100 games he's been subbed once, I think.
Good for him.
Jenny, again, you see the flair, but I mean it was a bit frustrating. He loses the ball a lot. I'm a sucker for ball retention, but I mean I guess you need players that create. The problem for me now is because are Jenny and Edwards redundant? And is Edwards objectively performing worse than Jenny? It puts Edwards in a very tough position in my opinion right now, unless his game drastically changes. And he's also the type of player where we've already seen him, I wouldn't say butt heads with Amorim, but he's certainly one of the few players who's like had disagreement with him.
His shit list.
So if things continue down the wrong track for Edwards, like I could see him stop trying as much in training or whatever, and then just ending up completely on the shit list for Amorim. So like, I think he's at like a crossroads that I hope goes in the right direction, but I'm not sure how it's going to play out. And if it doesn't play out well, I won't be that shocked. I'll be honest.
A Slimani post like, "Yo, he's only picking his boys."
He's not really a poster though, which is for the Braga. I guess he's a little Instagram poster, but not really that much of a poster. So I hope
he's not been a shit poster on social for the moment.
I feel like he would post like an Instagram story with like a song that doesn't like overtly call him out.
Something like semi-cryptic kind of thing.
He would do that,
way too much into and be like, oh, he's pissed.
Or if he's like dropped from the game day roster, he'll like post something cryptic like right at kickoff or something. Something like that.
Also end of the game, like.
I see him also doing like a Kevin Durant and having a burner account that's just like
Mm.
bash
Oh, I'm
something
almost
in, the
positive like
Spartan
everybody
chat.
has a
The
burger.
Spartan-
Well, Marcus actually DM'd one of my friends, Diogo, when because he's
yeah,
been
true.
an Edward
And he told him
hater
to
for
fuck off or
ages.
something. You're right.
He said, "You don't know ball, G." So I mean, I don't know if he was in a burner. He just goes straight for the kill.
Never mind.
Bro was like, "Oh, I'm going for it." Fuck
Yeah.
you.
So long story short, obviously we want Edwards to succeed, but not his best start to this season. I mentioned before I was surprised that Homeland came off, especially with us leading 1-0. I mean, I guess to be honest, like how much of the subs is just he wants to give others minutes. You know, he's got a lot of.
That's what I was wondering.
He's got more depth than he's ever had, right? He's just like, I kind of got to play Trincon sometimes, or like he'll get pissed, right? So I have to just, if he doesn't start, I still have to give him 30. I don't know what the deal is, but some of those subs just reeked of just I'm making a sub to make a sub, you know. Not even necessarily like for a specific.
It was substitutions for the sake of substitutions.
Yeah, a specific tactical adjustment is being made. No, I don't really.
The only one was really Edwards, I think. That's the only one where I could maybe say like that was probably tactical.
Yeah, because Paulinho had an injury apparently leading up to the game, so that.
Paulinho, he came in with an injury or something. Yeah. Which is tough that he's even started if he wasn't really that good to go, but.
I guess they figured because he wasn't.
I mean,
called up. Maybe they figured might as well.
It's frustrating. We still could have won. Honestly, we kind of played like shit-ish, but we still could have won. So I mean, it is what it is. It's always a tough place to play. They had a better crowd than they do on average, I suppose.
They've had some good crowds this year.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Richard, before I come to you, I'll just go quickly. I agree with what Chris said about Edwards. This being his last chance, but I can see this for quite a lot of the players. I think even though Trincao is sort of Amorim's favourite, if he doesn't have a good season, he might be looking to get shipped off. I think he's a George Mendes client, so it shouldn't be too difficult.
He's a man.
Get Olympiacos or someone to bid for him or something like Nottingham Forest. But I was disappointed in terms of the result because this is arguably our first big test of the season, like one of the big boys, away from home. And, we did struggle against Vizela and like keeping concentration, and Casapia didn't go all smoothly as well. And it's like, Millicao was a good game. And it's like, okay, this is the first test of the season. This is this is how we can measure how good the team is. And, a 1-1 draw with 0.3 XG was just awful. And I don't think we played particularly
Five shots too, which is like the lowest in 2 years. Yeah,
it's low.
Yeah, I was really disappointed with Gyökeres, but I think those bad games are going to come. I think what's getting in his head is the fouls the fouls he keeps giving away, where he literally got a yellow card because someone like bent into his elbow, and it's like, if that's going to happen, that's going to affect your confidence.
He's going to be sent off. He will be sent off.
I guarantee he's sent off at some point.
Yeah, he's already on 2 yellow cards, and he's played 4 games. So if he's not going to get sent off, he's going to get one of the suspensions for
I'm shocked he didn't get a red, to be honest.
Yeah,
I could have made the argument.
Yeah, it looked like the referee was begging to give someone a red card in this game. So no one with a red. But the Hushmulan sub was weird because Morita was on a yellow and Hushmulan was playing good. Not saying Morita was playing bad, but I think Morita was just average, and that's fine. Like from Morita, that's an average. Morita is a good player.
He was playing average, which was significantly better than his last outing.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. I thought in the first half, the back three were fantastic. Diamonde and Inacio especially, they were both, their distribution was fantastic. The second half, both of them fell off a cliff. More Inacio than Diamonde, obviously getting goal points man of the match. But
Coates had another good game. I'll give him that.
Yeah, Coates was fantastic. Diamonde back healing in the 90th minute straight to a Braga player was one of the stupidest decisions I've ever seen in any football game ever. I just don't understand it, and I just knew that Amorim was pissed at him at the bench. In terms of the free kick goal, I mean, I get your point. I feel like Dan probably could have done better, but I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm a bit mad the ball didn't jump, but I still think they probably wouldn't have got the height to block it. But I think it was just a fair
good
goal.
shot. Like, take nothing away from it. It's a hell of a shot.
Yeah, it's like an 8 out of 10, which is a very good shot.
That's you put that in a YouTube, in a YouTube video, the sidemen are going nuts.
Yeah. But Luis Jr. from Famalicão saves that though. Let me just
Does he?
He's got better measurables. He's got longer arms. He's taller.
Exactly.
I'm just saying for that goal he scored against Millicao, he was just standing in goal, man. Didn't even come out.
Fucking butt.
Oh, Dan would try and punch it. He probably wouldn't have hit it. Like,
But Dan would have at least kind of come out,
like the one against Tottenham where he goes to punch it and knows he's not going to get it, so he just flops.
Oh, yo, thanks for bringing that up. Yo, he completely came out of his goal to try to punch across.
Yeah.
Misses it completely, and the goal was wide open, but Horta didn't finish. He let it slip under his foot.
Yeah.
That should have been a goal, and it would have been 100% on a dime.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's been time to replace him.
He got bailed out by the ball was too wet or whatever the shit. He got bailed out on that one.
Yeah, but I thought no one really impressed with this game apart from Mate, maybe Coates and Diamonde, like I said. But then even in the second half, I thought the team just dropped off massively. I don't know if it was tiredness or lack of concentration, but like it was just very poor. And like you said, Edwards and Trincao came off the bench. I couldn't tell you what they did. There was no sort of memorable moment. Jenny, again, like Chris said, ball retention just not there. He tries all the flicks, but a team against Braga who are very solid defensively, they're not going to try and let you do that, and they're going to take you down. They're going to double team you, like which happened in the game. So I think, especially at left wing back, which is a really weird decision to bring Jenny on. I feel like if you put him on the wing, so like if you make that sub instead of Trincao, he's more effective. But then I think Nuno Santos was not ready, obviously coming back from an injury. He's not fully there yet.
Another pretty poor to average Nuno Santos game.
Yeah. It confirms my theory that we probably should have gone for another.
You think he peaked?
Left fullback. I don't know.
Seen his best season. It would make sense. I mean, he's coming off two pretty good seasons in a row, right? I mean,
he's only getting balder and balder too.
Yo, also he looked so fucking bald.
Yeah,
like he's actively getting balder, and he's already bald as shit. Like,
do you think his football ability disappears with like with hair?
No, I think that if he shaved his head, it would like he'd be a different baller.
He'd be like Stone Cold.
Careca Nuno Santos would be like Nuno Santos.
Bro, Eminem Nuno Santos was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Eminem Nuno Santos had his moments, bro.
Yeah.
So like a Careca Nuno Santos.
I think you should go back to that. I'll be honest. It's time.
He needs to shave his head and he'll shave his head like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he'll reach his full potential then. Watch.
Well, the comb over to make it look like you're not balding is not really my favorite. It was never really my favorite look on anybody, to be honest.
Exactly. I've always said there's no shame in going bald. I've always said if I ever start to like heavily recede or get like that lake on the back like Nuno Santos, just keep the beard and go bald now.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You're lucky you have a beard. I don't know if Nuno Santos has a beard.
That's the thing. I got an okay beard that I can mask it. I'm just hoping my head doesn't have a weird shape.
Maybe he grows a mustache.
Yeah, I actually
has a mustache. You know,
I don't know if Nuno Santos can grow a beard. If I've ever seen
I've
Nuno
never
Santos
seen him with any like stubble even of any.
And he's like blondish.
Yeah,
too, you know what I mean. Like I don't know.
Yeah, he's got light. He's fair skin. He's fair skin and fair hair as well.
Nah,
and by the way, this is like the peak of the conversation on this Braga game. It's his baldness. It's not actually what happened in the game.
Yo, also my stream froze one time, and it was just like on his bald head. And it was like, bro, I really got a good look at it for like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
I was like,
look at that.
My boy, he's a barber. He's the Braga fan. He's a barber, and he was like, "God damn, bro! Like, Danny, get on your podcast and tell him to let it go." So, if you're watching, my boy Phil is just saying, "Let it go.
Let it go. It's okay. There's absolutely zero shame in it.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen.
All of us eventually, right?
I
We're
think
all
it was
headed for it at some point.
Was it Jalen Rose that randomly he was bald one show and then like next week came back and was like presenter and had like a whole like proper like hairline.
Also, LeBron does that constantly.
Yeah.
He like paints on a new hairline for like big events.
Remember how Rooney was balding by like 19, and then at like 23, he had his hairline again.
He had a whole head of hair by FIFA.
You know?
Yeah. Either that or he needs to take an off-season trip to Turkey and just get a hair transplant.
Yeah, for real,
bro.
I don't know why he wouldn't have done that this offseason. Like it.
Yeah.
A loan to Besiktas is in order for Nuno Santos. But yeah, in terms of the other point is that Fresneda came on, didn't do anything, didn't have enough time to do anything. Omasa Podre came on, did get his legs broken, which is annoying. You know, one of these.
And He's also number 28, bro. That pisses me off even more.
Pissed me off a little mild.
I know he was number 28 at Wolves as well, and probably Monaco and shit, but like, no, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be doing this back in Portugal. No way, man.
No.
You know exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely not. Before I move on to the castles and everything else, Richard, do you want to take away with what you saw in this game?
So yeah, I'll give you the takeaways from a man who had to stream it on his phone as we were driving home from Montreal for like 3 hours. So I got to watch chunks of the game, not all the game. I saw our goal, thought it was a great pot goal.
Yeah.
Saw their goal at the end, or not at the end, but saw their goal. Thought we could have done, everybody just in that situation could have tried to do a bit better, do better, be better, you know. Yeah, I thought, I was surprised. I honestly would not have subbed off Woolman. I would have been fine with Marita coming off, especially because he was on the yellow. I thought Woolman was the best, one of the best players on the pitch. His rating doesn't show it. That's because he had a goal disallowed. Yeah, Jokeres is human as well. That stood out to me. He did not have a great game. It's bound to happen though. Sucks for Paulinho because he didn't look horrible, but he now I know he came into the game kind of hurt, which you guys said I wonder why he started. I'm thinking because maybe he didn't get called up. They figured take the risk for this game because he's got about a week and a half, 2 weeks of nothing really going on anyways to recuperate. Like when's our next game anyways?
It's in like a few weeks, yeah. My other thing is, why let Rodrigo Ribeiro be in the B team or whatever team he was in?
It's September 17th, which is in 12 days, about 2 weeks. Yeah.
So he's got two. From that game, he's got two. He had two.
And also, I don't think Paulinho played great, but I thought it was pretty.
I thought he was better than
Jokeres,
to be honest.
Yeah. That's why when he was brought off, I was like, "What? It makes no sense." Then he gets to the end. You're like, "Okay."
That's when I read on Twitter that it was suspected he had picked up injury. So that makes sense because he hasn't played dreadful by any stretch. He looked okay.
Yeah.
He didn't look phenomenal, obviously, but he looked fine. So that made more sense. Yeah, no big takeaways. It figures at the weekend that Porto drops points. We also drop points. It's been a weird first month of the season though. Like no one's
very weird.
Good.
Yeah.
No one that you'd expect to have looked really good has looked any of the part.
Benfica.
I was expecting Benfica to be world beaters coming into the season. They've looked anything but. Porto is just getting by the skin of their teeth week after week, and it's gonna bite them in the ass one of these weeks. I know we're gonna get to
or will it not?
Or 17 minutes.
Or will it just do this 34 weeks in a row?
There's no shot they could get away with it 34, 35 weeks in a row. It's gonna bite them at some point. They can't keep inventing stuff.
Richard, you didn't predict Boavista to be top of the table, man. Come on, you don't know ball, man.
All of us. My ball knowledge gone
zero, bro.
I'm not. I had them to finish bottom. Yeah, I
had them finishing
relegation candidate.
Yeah, they've surprised, but I like that every game is a mystery. We haven't had that like ever. If you want,
apart from the Porto games, they're not mysteries.
It should be a mystery, but. Every game has been really close for the most part. There's been only maybe a couple of blowouts all around. And like I always say, I think it's better when everybody's competitive and there's a bit of chaos because it just means there's more interest. There's going to be more money coming in, and I think it's better football because you're going to see teams be more open and try to attack as opposed to this anti-jogo two-gal shit that we have.
Yeah, fair enough. We're keeping on this topic, we're still talking about sort of the castles that happened. This was the main one that got people talking, and I'm just gonna start off and say that I think it was ruled out correctly. I know what people are saying.
What's that red thing?
It's like
I think that's meant to be
it's showing you the line of the ball. Okay.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be his field of vision, I'm pretty sure.
In my opinion, Pot is in his way. I know he's not in his direct line of vision, but he still has to move out the way of the ball coming towards him. So in my opinion, I can but to me it was ruled correctly. I was gonna say no, just correctly for me.
It's funny because on the same weekend, Man City had a very similar incident and they let it stand.
Happened in the Juventus game too. I
actually thought that the Man City goal definitely should have been ruled out, and then I also probably thought this one should have been ruled out. I'll be honest.
Yeah, me too. And the thing is with me, the ball comes on the other side, so that line is there, but the ball comes around Pot on the other side.
Also there's two of them. Not
There's
just
two
one,
games.
there's two.
You know what? No, but if anything, if I think that's Paulinho. If it's just
Yeah.
Paulinho there and the
Yeah.
ball still goes where it's going, it's a goal.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
But
gets
just Potts
ruled
there
out.
as well.
It's-
and
yeah.
Potts
get him
there
off
and the
out,
ball's
and I
like
get that.
sort of like hit towards them. But I'm with you too. Even the Man City one, I think even the players were saying like they should have ruled it
Holland
out.
said after the game that he thought it was going to get called back.
Yeah.
But there was one in the Juventus game this week, and I was with I forgot to plug for you guys. I was with the Turin Giants yesterday. They got a pod with me and another guy coming out soon, so check their channel out. But anyways, there was like an almost identical goal in the Juventus game that didn't get called back. It was
Really?
very
I'll have to
similar.
look into that.
Yeah.
That's
We
what
could-
I didn't get to see, but they
Was
said
the
that
VAR
it
battery
didn't get called
charged?
back.
Like, I mean,
I don't
that's
know.
the-
You'll have to ask them. But
It's a great hit
yeah.
though from Homeland. I mean, I hope we can see more of
hell
that.
a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know he's got the bat. You know he's got a banger in him for sure.
It's not quite the Palinha bangers that we've been saying for a few years ago, but I mean it seems more effective. So
We'll take.
Yeah.
Keep it low, drive it low.
Are they low and hard? Like you got a chance.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Sam. Like I get why it's called back, and I think Danny makes a good point. If Potts not there and it still goes where it goes,
It does beg the
It
question
probably
though, if this exact the screen grab is from like 1 minute 1:12 in the Porto game, is it getting ruled out? I don't know.
I'm wondering now.
Yeah, yeah.
We might as well man of the match and get to that because that's what got our league on the fucking map this weekend. God
Yeah,
help us all.
I was just gonna say that I saw Juicebot's tweet, and I agree with that. If you don't want this goal to be offside, then Pedro Gonzalez and Paulinho just need to run back because they had so much time to run back.
Yeah,
they were
a lot of
lazy.
time. He's bang on. They had a lot of time to push back and not be offside, and they just decided not to.
Yeah, they were just too lazy enough not to get back, and that was in what I think that was still in the first half, right?
It was still in the first half.
yeah,
It was
that would've
after
made-
the
that would've
first
made it
goal
2-0.
though, so maybe like
Yeah.
But I
35.
made it 1-0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was already
But-
1-0, but maybe I'm misremembering.
It was.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It should have been 2.
What's going on? So either way though, it's in the first half. It changes a lot of the game, and that just messes it up completely.
yeah, definitely. I'll give you a quick fire one then. Danny, who was your man of the match for the game?
I'll
He's thinking
give it
about
to
some
Potts. Like
shit
I
at
said,
Potts.
I liked Potts, so I thought he did well this game. Wasn't like crazy
Yeah.
good, but nobody was crazy good, so I'll give it to Potts.
Yeah, Chris.
I gotta give it to Kawats. I slated him last week. He has played like shit, kind of, in the first couple games. Didn't get called up to Uruguay, like based on merit,
Yeah,
apparently.
Israel did, but he didn't.
And was like shocked by the decision. So yeah, he bounced back with a nice game. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we start trending up again.
Richard, for you?
I'll give it to the goal point man of the match. I'll give it to Diamante. I thought he played really well. My second choice would have been Coates, but I'll give it to Diamante. Stupid back heel near the end aside. That almost cost him the game. I thought he played a really good game.
Yeah, if he's down the pitch, I would have gone with Hushman, but because he came off, I'll go with Coates as well. I thought like he was very good.
Hoogman would have been another one too if his goal had counted or he got more.
For
than
sure,
that.
for sure.
Yeah,
He was for me like one of the best players, if not the best player in the first half outside of Potts.
Yeah, most definitely. Before we go on to the Porter thing, we just got the predictions to look at. I've not updated the scores yet as of now, but no one got the point for the win or the
No one
correct
got
score.
points for scores or wins. I don't think. I
But
got
Danny
any points.
Me
and
and
Chris got
Yeah.
1 point each, so that puts Chris level with Richard on 7. Oh, and Danny as well.
So we're on a three-way tie.
On 7?
Yeah, I'm just down here as well.
Sam
so-
pacing the back of the pack.
Sam's gonna have. You know what? Sam will have like a monster week where he gets like the score, he gets the win,
6.
and he gets all the
Yeah,
scores.
and the
He's gonna,
goals,
get
yeah.
6 points or something stupid.
All I'm saying, if I predict like 11-0 with every single different goal scorer, I'm guaranteed to get at least 1
He
point.
gets 1 point.
That's
like that strategy.
true.
I like that.
I'm just saying
At least
that is
he's
not
gonna get a
allowed.
win.
unless
That's not allowed.
unless we just lose 2-0, you know.
Yeah, just
Yeah, we tie 0-0.
But yeah, that is it for the predictions. I'll just quickly share
Fantasy as well.
the
I had-
fantasy.
Dog shit week in fantasy.
I
I'm
forgot.
behind.
Yeah, or tie
So,
0-0 also. That would fuck him too.
Yeah,
Second,
I had a rough fantasy week this week. No,
I had a great week this week. I forgot to
you
make my
did
subs.
you did have a good week, Danny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is
Big dub.
Chris's team for the week, still in first place. Rafa and Pedro Gonzalez getting the majority of your points.
That pod goal saved
I
me
dropped
this week,
Horta
man.
and picked up Rafa this week because I didn't want him to play against Sporting.
Yeah.
Look,
I didn't
Thiago's
wanna,
on
like-
the bench. We've got 8 points. But,
Guy on your bench, bro.
Tough.
I was gonna get Bossy Neck though too. That was gonna be my striker. My midfielder
Baller.
was gonna be the Roca one,
Mhm.
but I was trying to like compare him with the other strikers, and then the app was just fucking around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just decided another day, but then the other day came and I forgot to do it.
it's still a good selection though. You did
Not bad,
pretty
not
well.
bad.
I think I'm getting rid of Murita this week though. I have 3 subs. I think I have I took your guys' advice from 2 weeks ago, so I think I have like a mil and a half on my transfer.
Yeah, I always leave like a bit. I made you'll see my team if we can
Yeah.
check our transfers after we're done
Yeah.
here. I made some maneuvers this week after this week.
Yeah, I captained Paulinho to come off in the first 45 minutes. Yeah, but Di Maria saved me. If he wasn't there, then it's an awful game. And Samuel Suarez played all right, so I got 6 points, which is not bad. And I don't think any of these guys played, which is good.
But
for me.
I think I'm gonna draw. I think I dropped Victoria as well.
See, I was gonna also
Tough
drop Gil
season.
Kenneth as captain, but I'm worried because you guys all have him.
Yeah, if he pops off.
You guys
that's what I
pop
thought
off,
too.
I'm fucked.
So I had Paulinho captain. I had the Paulinho captain as well, which killed me, Sam.
Mm.
Yeah.
Rafael Ruiz, Andre Horta's out of my team now. I can confirm.
Who does it
I might be
Saved
bringing
my
him back.
ass.
No, Ricardo. I might be bringing back Ricardo Horta after
Yeah.
a little
I'm gonna
drop.
I have Rafa Silva in my team now. I did some maneuvering to get Rafa in my team. If I can get Ricardo Horta in my team as well, I might have to sacrifice a decent player for him, but it might be worth it.
Yeah, I think for me, I need to stop picking Sporting players to be captains because it's like some blind loyalty. I have that. I'm just gonna put one.
Yeah,
on.
you
But
and me both.
The first game I put Di Maria as captain, I think, and Gyökeres as vice, and obviously Gyökeres scored 2 and Di Maria scored 1.
I might need to drop Eustachio soon. He's not helping me at all.
Again, your
probably
blind loyalty to your
Porto
Canadian
lads. I have
brethren.
Costa. I have Costa in net because I expect him to get
Same.
that
Every
4 points
Porto
for
lad
that
I've
clean
had on
sheet.
my team this year has done nothing for me.
Porto ain't keeping
Andrew.
clean sheets, man.
Andrew seems like I might have to drop Dio Costa just to get like some cheap guy in.
I have
just to
Bruno
like,
Vanilla.
extra
He's been
mil.
giving me decent. He's consistently giving me points.
I
get
want
him.
a keeper who's keeping clean sheets, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know who that
Nothing
guy
this
is
There's
this
none. There's
season.
none in
Nothing this
Portugal
league.
right now. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, this is a sporting themed podcast, but we'd be amiss to not talk about the recent events which have happened in our league. And
Why, what
technically, sporting released a communication on it as well. So it's technically sporting related. But it made international news because Porto.
The memes that came out of this were phenomenal. This is days like this are days I love to be on is when the internet is just a glorious place. When we can all just come together as a community and bask in the stupidity that is the Portuguese soccer league.
Yeah, so Porto actually wanted the game.
How's this going for them, by the way? Are
It's not gonna happen. They have no case. Like I looked at the league. Someone posted the league statutes on Twitter, and someone else posted on Reddit, I think, and they're like, they have no case. They have 0 case. There's no.
I mean,
way
imagine if they actually annulled the game, the precedent that would set.
If
Yeah.
they
You think
didn't
our,
replay
you
the
think our
one,
league is
annulling
broken now,
every
bro?
third
They'd
game.
be annulling every third game, bro.
if they didn't annul the one where it was like B-side versus Benfica during COVID, where B-side
Oh,
had,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
9
with, like,
players,
No,
four
and
it
players.
for a
never
left
have
back.
been played.
Yeah, so
Like, say
I
what
don't
you
think
want
this
about
is
B-Sod, that there's no fucking.
Thanks
team
for
that
reminding
put
me
up
that
with
that happened. Also, I kind of forgot.
which also made
They had a
it
goalie. They had a goalie playing in the outfield, right?
at left back.
And
Yeah.
then they just forfeited at half or like in the 60th minute. That was awesome.
Yeah, that game should just
No,
say what you want about
in the
B-Sod, and I
45th.
don't like them. Should not have happened.
In the 45th, they just didn't come back out.
Yeah,
we're not coming out. What do you mean? We're not showing up. Game's done. Why are we here? Let's save our time. Let's go home. Crack open a cold one and have it be fun because this is fucking bullshit.
What is your
Yeah.
What is your take on the? See, here's the thing about me. Like, I don't even necessarily think. So here's the conspiracy. The conspiracy is that Porto intentionally cut the video or ref, the VAR
Video
like,
assistant.
camera or the
I don't know
monitor.
if you've seen the picture that's been edited of Pinto da Costa with like two.
Yeah, I've seen that. Well, I've seen a few
Oh,
different
oh,
ones.
So the conspiracy is that they cut the feed intentionally, and then they were just flopping around and trying to get a penalty. But it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think that they need to cut the VAR to dive for a penalty. Like,
No.
they've done it before and they did it again. You know, like I don't think that they need to cut the video to dive for a penalty and have it work. You know. So my honest take is that it's just like incompetence and like the power broke or like a rat bit the cord or just the dumbest thing ever. Like I don't think it was intentional.
It's gonna be something like really innocuous that like we're like that's so dumb, but like it's no one's really fault at the end of the day.
I know they're like trying to blame like the Altice, like the cable provider. It's like damn, bro.
But yeah, it made international news mostly because of the phone incident. But what also made international news, as Lauren brings it up, Taremi on at least Twitter, I should say, X now. He's been getting diving compilations on like the big Twitter accounts.
I'm just mad that it wasn't our boy G that came up with that diving compilation.
I'll be honest, he dove at the World Cup and it worked. Like he also dove on an international stage, you know.
He also dove with the World Cup and it didn't work.
I'm just gonna say he dived all the time and it worked.
Yeah, he also tried to dive at the end of one of those games. I forget, was it the England USA?
It was the USA game.
He tried to dive and it didn't work, but
he tried to dive. Yeah. He still gets a piece of the ball. I'm like, man, if you don't dive, you probably score and win that game. Like if he just didn't dive, he probably gets more of the ball than he gets. And he scored his goal, but no, he went for the dive. And he chose the evil, and I'm like, man, you fucked up. You could have scored and won the game if you just had any awareness of what was going on.
Yeah, and I think the thing is as well with Taremi, like I do think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I think he harms himself because he falls to the floor so often. The referees are going to be like, especially international referees now, they're going to be like, we used to that. So like
that's the other thing. If I'm a referee and I see him go down, I'm assuming it's a dive. The man, how does he not have a reputation? Like,
and then if anything, you're just waiting for VAR anyways. If it is a penalty, you know. So
because you'll overturn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, but it's reputation. I think I can't remember where I saw it, but it was like an NBA referee came on a podcast. It was like, oh, if Draymond Green, like if someone says that Draymond Green's done something, like he's hit someone, then if I see that, if I think I see it, I'm gonna call it straight away because it's Draymond Green. Because he has that reputation of hitting people.
Same in hockey. There's guys who have a reputation that they're just like, I'm just going to call a penalty.
But he still gets penalties week in and week out from diving. Like he has no rep, I guess, or it just doesn't matter.
Portugal doesn't matter.
This league, it doesn't matter.
Who put it in the chat? James Grace, I think it was like, we need someone old and mean. No, we need not old. We need someone young and not stupid.
That is Peter da Costa old and mean.
Yeah, we need the opposite of old and mean. We need someone who's young and not stupid.
No, we need someone who's not Portuguese to come in because there's always going to be that element of bias because they grow up supporting one of the three teams.
Some maybe like a Russian dude who's just going to take no shit. We need some like Eastern European, some Serbian.
We need people that aren't afraid of them, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
We need a Serbian guy to take over.
At a point, I don't blame them. I'm not making this a whole Porto thing, but when I think 6 years ago now, when a referee gave a decision against Porto, the ultras stormed his house and like leaked his address and
which is mental. Like
it's not just a Porto thing because it's happened with Benfica and Sporting as well. But it's just like these guys are going to be afraid to get, and fair enough. I'd be afraid to give calls against any of these teams.
It's funny you bring up because I was on the Turin Giants show yesterday, and the one gentleman who was on with me was he's a Galatasaray fan, and he mentioned the exact same thing in Turkey. He goes, I don't know how it is in Portugal, but you get a lot of these refs are almost afraid to make a call against the wrong call against the big team. I'm like, let me tell you, it is exactly the same in Portugal. They're afraid to screw up, but in the process of being so afraid to screw up, they screw up even more.
Yeah, but I think it's what I say when it's like people are born supporting either Benfica, Porto, or Sporting, sometimes Braga, and obviously as a second team, maybe like an Estoril or a Beta Mar or someone like that. That they're always going to have that in the back of their mind. And I'm not saying they're always going to be impartial to their team, but within England, you've got so many teams to support, like a referee could support, I don't know, Scunthorpe or, for example, Stevenage, and they would be like the number one referee. But I think that's why when they started talking about bringing the French referees into Portugal, everyone was like, thank God, about time. They did one game or two games. And then
that lasted all of like 2 weeks.
And it was also like a game, like no disrespect, it was like a Rio Ave Pasha de Ferreira game where no one's going to have that influence to do so. So I think getting foreign referees or a foreign independent body is much better than what we have now. And I think the constant communications between Sporting Benfica and Porto is just embarrassing at this point. I understand the thoughts behind them and I understand why they're doing it. But
and the thing is, everyone's a little bit dirty in this, right?
Yeah.
Benfica has the. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, the back penalty, and a couple other sketchy decisions that kind of got them rolling last season.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say Sporting has gotten a couple. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they've gotten a couple, right?
We've gotten a few.
We got
The
unfortunate.
Polina situation is one that they mentioned.
Yeah, the Polina situation.
So we were kind of lucky on
all the big clubs really don't have a leg to stand on. Obviously, some are worse than others, right? And I'm not saying I wish we could be getting penalties like Porto are right now, but we're not at that level right now. But it's just very rich to see like the one that doesn't happen to be getting benefited this particular week is all, up in arms. But it's like, you don't actually care about changing this. You don't want to release the video, the audios. When there was a vote to release the audios, you rejected it. Like, you don't actually care. It's just like, what is convenient at this moment to say, So, yeah, I don't know if anything's going to actually come even of all this,
Refereeing is not a Portuguese problem. The Portuguese have a referee problem.
No, the refereeing is not a Portuguese problem, but Portuguese referees are the problem in Portugal.
Yeah.
On the French point, I feel like we got in these French refs for 2 games and realized they're just as bad as us, if not worse. If you've ever watched the French league,
or they realize like these guys speak French, like they can't communicate with us.
We should get Brazilian refs, bro.
Honestly,
if we're gonna be corrupt, let's get some referees that we know will be bought off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can make we're so stupid. Like our club's so dumb, we won't even know how to cheat. Like we'll undercut them, and then they'll take our money, then get a bigger payment from someone else, and we'll be like, "No, just keep the money." Like we're that dumb. We won't even know how to cheat properly.
Exactly.
You know what reminds me of like Taremi's situation? I think me and Chris talk about it all the time. It's like when Coates feels like a tiny shove in the back and he goes like, "Oh, I'm on the foot of the floor," and never gets a single call. But Taremi does that all the time. Like,
and he gets
Taremi almost always gets those calls.
I also have a piece of advice for Paulinho, because I've seen it several times now, and obviously we know that Paulinho has. It's actually a little bit less now, but it varies with his confidence. The lower his confidence, the more likely he is to dive. Mm-hmm. He loves, this happened literally in the 2nd minute of the Braga game, like a potential elbow opportunity or something, but it's never even in the box. So it's only reviewable if it's a straight red, which it never is. And then he lays on the floor for like 5 minutes. It's like, bro, you're not buying time for the video ref because they can't even do anything, man. Even if they wanted to, you weren't in the box. It's like, if you're gonna do that, just make sure you're in the box and then lay there for 5 minutes. So at least maybe something good can come of it. But it's just like so often, it's like nothing can even happen here. Nothing really, you know.
He always does the thing as well. Like he'll try and like force his back into the opposition's like.
So that he's hoping that they give him the push back or like the touch on the leg or
he does that all the time.
He needs to work on his, You just need. I guess what do? You just watch tape of Taremi, right?
And we know he watches this show probably, so he'll take your advice. He's a big fan of the podcast.
But no, I found this tweet from Goal Point interesting. Shout out Goal Point as well.
Oh, you shared this. I was dying laughing when I saw these.
I didn't realize how many Sporting players we have on this list. Obviously, Bastos, Paulinho. Obviously, that counts for Paulinho as Braga and Gil Vicente as well. Same with Edwards.
It's a lot of minutes, though. It's way more minutes than Paulinho, and it's half the penalties.
I was gonna say I don't remember Bastos getting that many, but I feel like that was such a long time ago now that I probably wouldn't. I know he got a few calls, but I didn't think he got that many in there.
I think because that one season when he had like 30 something, like when he almost tied Messi for Golden Boot. I think that was the year.
Pretty surprising that Jonas Pistolas is not on here as well.
I'm surprised to not see Jonas on here. Actually,
that was like the main comments, I believe. Like
Roshinha on there and Brahim.
I mean, Taremi's putting up god numbers compared to Jonas, bro.
Oh, I'm surprised Jonas. I'm surprised Roshinha, Brahim.
Yeah. Also, this is started in 14-15. When did Jonas a little bit before that, right? Yeah.
No, Jonas was 14-15. I'm pretty
sure. No, he was definitely there.
But I'm saying, like, when did he come in?
We're going back to when Jonas was.
Yeah, when he came into Benfica, I think it was 14-15, maybe 13-14 at a push. It wasn't.
Yeah, so I feel like he might be missing like a Jonas season where he had like a couple, like
14
more.
I'm curious.
14 to 19. Yeah, 2014 to 19.
Oh, so this does include all of Jonas's Benfica career.
I thought he won more actually, just because I
It
guess
felt
he took
like
a lot
more.
probably.
But I don't know if his one was more of like he scored all the penalties more.
I think he's
others were diving and he was just putting them away.
that Benfica
he had a
team
few
was
dives.
like-
He had a few dives.
The
That I
Benfica
remember.
team was like diving central. It was like Salvio, who was bad. Gaitan was just as bad.
Cardozo, I remember being bad.
Servi at one point. It's just like all of them were just throwing themselves to the floor.
It was
But,
all
you
the
know,
it was you know what it was all the South American boys. That's
true.
It was all the Argentines and the Brazilians that they had.
But yeah, and then just the big man Bastos, the Dutchman, as number 2. But yeah, I did find that interesting.
It's not even like it's like a 3 or 4 point. It's a 9 point. It's almost double the next player.
And counting, brother.
Yes. Because I'm gonna put it here first. I'll rule out a Bastos return to any Liga Portugal team.
I think he's in Belgium at the moment. He's chilling.
I believe he is in.
I think he's in
either Belgium or
maybe Netherlands.
I think he's in NEC.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he's
NEC.
not-
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's in the
it's
Netherlands.
I was in NEC. Okay, I think maybe Belgium last year. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah, he was
maybe.
in Bruges last year.
Yes.
He was in Bruges.
I mean, Braga seems to be signing all former sporting players, so it's only a matter of time.
He might
before
make a
hits
cameo, a half a season cameo at Braga. Who knows?
That'd be crazy.
He banged in so many goals for him.
I would still take him here. He on the Ruben Amorim's crossing, like when we like
When it's
0-0,
cruisable,
we
like
need a
who
shit.
Yeah.
else you really want outside of like you want that last?
But I think Amorim would also find a way to piss him off.
Probably.
Yeah, he was lazy as shit. He's not coming
Yeah.
back.
Oh no! Like, I remember
Yeah.
like every goal he scored, like he never took more than one touch. It was all
Yeah, he had a
first time.
ridiculous
Yeah.
streak of first-time
It
finishes.
was all first
Yeah.
time headers and like first time shots. There was like, no and penalties. There was like no goals where he scored had like more than a touch.
And also he has that Ruben Amorim like hated trait of like he just didn't learn Portuguese. Like he learned like
No,
2
he
sentences
was
like
stuck
Edwards.
with English.
True.
The Edwards interview where the guy's like, "What's a frango?" and he's like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Still, what is that?"
know, man.
And then I just didn't know anything. But,
The
yeah.
only thing that pisses me off about Edwards is he's in Portugal, and he
He's been in
says he
Portugal
misses,
for years now.
he misses Nando's.
Bro, you have,
Bro, are you good? Like-
I don't think he gets out much in Portugal.
Yeah, maybe
you
not.
could go down the street and get better chicken, like at the hole in the
Bro,
wall place owned by
The thing is, it's like
come on,
it's literally Nando's. It's rotisserie chicken. It's the same shit, brother.
no, it's
It
not
is.
good.
It is, but it isn't. Like I can
It's just
understand
like
what
not
you mean.
fast food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like obviously I would say like just like getting like an actual like plate of chicken and stuff, but like from Nando's you can get like so many different things like
Fair.
burgers and wraps and
I
stuff.
need to get a-
Brother,
I need to-
like, brother, he could go
Get
anywhere
a
else.
cheeky
he
Nando's
wants.
out there because the one here is just like
Yeah, if you come over,
I don't
Danny,
know.
I'll take you to a Nando's, man. You
Yeah,
can
Yeah,
go
you
come
gotta
back.
take me to that. I gotta see how it stacks up to regular. But like my brother in Christ, you could go to the hole in the wall owned by like fucking João Cagao down there.
he doesn't know what shops are in his neighborhood.
I'm
bro.
like, bro,
Yeah.
like, you've been in Portugal for how long? You've been in Lisbon for how long? Like, at some, like that. Honestly, if I was an athlete, that'd be my first thing. Is okay, what's a
Year
good
2.5 now for Edwards.
Yeah, like if I'm living,
yeah,
like,
Lisbon,
if I'm
yeah.
living
Yeah.
anywhere, I'm like, okay, where's a good spot that I can just kind of go eat like semi-regularly if I'm craving like some like this thing.
Bro, there's a Burger King at the stadium, man. Just go
There's
there.
a Burger King that's not for him, big
You
Burger
got the little bakery as well, man. He's
Yeah.
missing
True.
out if he's not put in there. But yeah, so the last topic I guess we have is the international call-ups and the left.
Oh, I have beef with Roberto Martinez.
Okay, Richard, go for it. Take us
All
away.
right, so here's the thing. Most of this team I don't really have an issue with. I'm not overly upset about Pot or Pedro or Paulinho not getting called up. I'm upset with Totti Gomes getting called up. He's not even a fucking starter at Wolves, and he gets called up over literally.
I'll be
anybody
real. I
else.
saw that name. And I was like, who the
Who the
fuck?
fuck is that guy? Yeah, I almost did that.
I
too.
thought it might be like a nickname for someone that like I didn't know.
Yeah,
like
ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
Nelson Semedo, he has not been the same player since Alphonso Davies ruined his career in the Champions League. Should be nowhere near this team at all. I don't care.
I'm at the point now where Rui Patricio probably should have been either team either.
Rui Patricio should not be anywhere near this team. I don't think. And that's not a personal beef or anything.
I'm not
I
even
don't
mad
think
at
he's
that
worth
though,
it.
because at least he's getting game time.
He's
I can't
probably
believe
the third string now, but
I
like,
think he would be third string now. Like whatever.
yeah,
I
it doesn't
wouldn't
really
have taken
matter.
him, but I'm not going to argue that one too much. Pedro Neto and Joao Felix are my two big ones. They have
Even
played.
João Cancelo, he's not playing either. He's just started.
They played 0 minutes of football and they got called up.
Not
Well,
even
that's
a
like 30
not
now.
even a pre-season.
You could have called up
exactly,
Bruma.
39 now.
You could have no left backs, by
Nah.
the way. 0 left backs. Like, what are you talking? Doesn't take Mateus Nunes. Thank you, Juice Box. That's another that you got me going now. I'm all fucking riled up.
Bro, for all I know, Totti Gomez could be a
else.
left back.
He plays left back. He plays left back.
He could be a
taken
striker for all I know.
Bruma as a winger. This team is.
He's about to
it's the
start.
Star Young men. I hate this. I saw this team and I'm like, this is so. This is one of the dumbest. Like, there were so many players. I'm like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. And
It's
Ruben
weird,
Neves,
yeah.
Ruben Neves, by the way, find me the one good Ruben Neves game-changing moment for the national team. I'll wait. We'll be here all night, but I'll wait.
Bro, but he's playing in the
Garbage.
best Asian competition in the world. Like, he has to get the call up, brother.
He is so bad at football. I don't care that he used to score bangers for goals when they were in the championship. He is so fundamentally horrible at the game of football.
Yeah, I watched
would rather
the
see- I would rather see-
Al Ittihad game, and he didn't do anything.
I would have
Yeah, he
rather
wasn't-
seen Thiago Tomas get called up than fucking Joao Felix. I would have rather seen
Look,
Mateus Nunes get called up than fucking Ruben Neves. This team was dog shit.
I would have rather seen
Mateus
João
Nunes got
Neves instead of Ruben
Yeah.
Neves, for example.
Yeah,
But,
I
I
would have
mean-
taken him. I would if you need to have a Neves quota, take up Joao instead of Ruben. I'm not
just more
ashamed to
so
share
pissed.
fucking namesake with Joao.
He'll be
Say,
in there
Ted,
soon
Call you
enough.
up, Richard.
Yeah,
Call
he will.
me up. I'll put in a shift at fucking goal. I was a good keeper back in my day.
Well, at this point, you need to play left back because I don't know who's going to be playing there.
We need left back. We're putting you at left back, big man.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like I have so much beef with this. Is George Mange FC in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Like this was such a dog, and I love that it was so universally panned by fans and media alike that they were like everybody questioned this, and like he got grilled like, why did you call up so and so? Like they haven't played. It's like, well, we gotta support them, and people push back. Like it's not it's the national team. You don't just take a player. For
Even
6
Ruben
years.
Amorim called him out. Was like,
Yeah.
you don't use it as a
Coaches,
player for-
coaches, agents not named George Ment, like this is getting ridiculous. Like prominent media outlets, they got called out bad on this call up, and it's good. I'm glad they got called out as hard.
That basically means that CR7 can never not be called.
Oh, he's got a place until he either fucking.
It means like
dies.
15 of the spots are permanent, and then like 8 can rotate.
If
Yeah.
that. I feel like because it's 26-man rosters now. I feel like 20 of those spots are permanent.
Yeah.
Like six are rotating, barring like an injury or like an illness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was brutal. Like we're doing a show next week that's probably gonna be Cell focused. I can't wait to pick them apart.
They're playing the 2 good teams in their group, like 2 good teams.
They're gonna. I will not shock me if they drop points in this window.
I haven't watched the Portugal national team game in a while. I'm probably going to keep it that way because I don't want to watch.
I'll watch it for you, and
Yeah.
I'll do the breakdown myself then. But
Friday's tough for me because I'm going to Phil's. What time's the game on Friday? 2:30 or something like that?
yeah, I think so. I thought it was a Thursday game.
Fuck, I might be able to watch it. If
thought it
it's
was a
Thursday,
Thursday
I
game.
could probably watch it. I hope it's
Let me
Friday,
check the
though.
old Google machine for you. But I thought it was like a Thursday Sunday or like a Thursday Monday or something. I know their second game's on a Monday.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this team quickly, I'm not going to piggyback too much of what Rich said. You know me. I think Paulinho should have been called. People disagree. I think. I know what Juicebox was saying was like, he's had 2 shit seasons followed by a hot streak, but João Felix has had 4 shit seasons, and he's not had his hot streak yet, and he's still here.
And every
So-
time Joao Felix does comes on, I've almost never been impressed with them. Goals against dog shit teams don't count. I'm sorry.
But no, to give him credit, I guess he did try and experiment a little bit with, like, for example, Totti Gomez and Ricardo Horta and these guys. But it's like you can experiment and then in a press conference say, "Oh yeah, I really like Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix because they need some confidence to get back to level." It's like that's not your job.
That's not your job, though.
to do.
Your job's to take the best team in that moment.
But yeah, looking at Totti Gomez, I'm thinking, for example,
That's
off
the
the
one
top of
that
my head,
really pissed me off.
Thiago Jalot is at Lille, I believe. You've got guys
Yeah.
like Domingos Duarte's played more minutes than
You
him
like
in
that
the
you
Spanish
Union
league.
Berlin.
Yes, Diogo Liete.
Like, how did
There's-
he not
there's
get called
loads.
up?
Even what's the other Benfica guy called? Is it Arujo? Is that this one of the centre
They
backs?
took Antonio Silva.
There's another one which I can't remember the name of, which I'd rather take.
I'm not even upset at like a distinct lack of Portuguese players. I'm upset that they're of a lack of so many other players that should have probably been called up this window.
Yeah.
Pot. I'm with
I
you.
I can see the argument because when this call up happened, Pot had kind of had a couple garbage games. I could see the argument not taking Pot.
But it's even when he had
garbage
the
than
good.
João Felix. Felix isn't even playing. Like,
Yeah.
But no, it's even the point is when Pedro Gonçalves was on form and hitting goals every other game.
He
Martinez was like, nah, not for me.
Yeah.
So
He'd either not get called up or they treat him like they did at the Euros a couple years ago, which was he wouldn't even be on the game day roster.
yeah.
Like he didn't even play. I'm like, the dude just won the Golden Boot for Portugal, and you're just like, no, not gonna play him. Like you can't find room for a guy like that. Like at that time, like it's national team. You take teams for the moment. You don't just take them based on what they've done. Like years ago. And in the case of some of these guys, some of them have done shit for years. Shouldn't even be on the team.
Even like just having.
And it's a Friday game, by the way. You were right.
Yeah,
Chris.
it's Friday, Monday. Friday,
Monday.
Damn.
I was wrong.
2:45 Eastern. Even like Pedro Neto being on like with the defenders makes me think they're gonna experiment him on left wing back. And it's like I'm not even gonna talk Sporting players here. Like, yeah, sure, Nuno Santos I think has a shout in this team as well. I mean, if we're taking Tati Gomez is also not playing for Wolves. Yeah. What about João Mario from Porto?
What about Mario Rui from Napoli?
I don't know if he's playing, to be fair, about him. But, you know, João Mario for Porto has been, like Porto's best player for 2 seasons.
Yeah, he's been solid.
Yeah, how has he not got a place in the team?
It's just shit like that. Like, I don't understand what more Pot needs to do. And I think for Paulinho, bro, like, João Felix, Cancelo haven't been playing. Totti Gomes hasn't really been playing. Pedro Neto's been playing for Wolves. But has anybody seen a Wolves game so far this season?
Unfortunately,
maybe like 30 minutes of 2 games.
Actually, fortunately, because I want to see them get relegated. So yeah,
I want them to go down. I want them to go down. I've been cheering.
And
my uncle bought a Wolves jersey. I'm like, you're a piece of garbage. Don't talk to me for a week. I don't want to talk to you.
When I was on the Portugal corner, I was telling them for the good of football, I hope Wolves get relegated, and they were shocked. They were like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, just
if Wolves and Famalicão go down in the same season, it will be like my Christmas."
It'll be like
if Wolves and Nottingham Forest go down, that's my Christmas because that's the biggest money maker.
Want a title if Wolves go down?
Yeah, but this is my overall point on Portugal. This is why I've kind of like fell out in love with this national team. Why I'm rooting for fucking little old Canada, just because it's a little more like not agent focused. Whereas here it's just if you're not a George Men's client, then
it feels like if you're not a men's client, you don't get any respect or love.
Exactly. So that's my thing on Portugal. I'm kind of like over it. Yeah, I know Forest won't go down, guys. I'm just saying if they went down, I'd be happy.
What's your beef with Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, what's your beef with Forest, man?
Just because that's a really random beef.
They're George Men's affiliated.
I don't think they are
especially
anymore.
when they were.
I think they used to be.
They used to be, not anymore. Not for a while.
And they're just too wild, bro. Like, stop signing players. Like, what's wrong with you?
How dare you sign players?
No, it's genuinely
this football's pissing me off.
When you get like on career mode, you get like a takeover and just buy as like many players
as you can that first window.
Yeah. But no, Chris, have you got anything more to say on the national team call up?
No, sadly not. We'll see how they do. 2 harder games than they've had so far. Feels like it's almost impossible to not qualify in the current format, the top 2. Not even a playoff top 2 automatic. So it's like, damn, if you can't finish second in this group, don't deserve to be going anyways.
None of you deserve. Fire the coach, fire the water boy.
If I had to pick one to come in behind us, I would pick Luxembourg, because obviously I've seen them grow over the last decade to have a semi-serious team from being a complete joke. So if we have to drop points to one of them, I'd prefer Luxembourg, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm right in saying there's a decent Portuguese population in Luxembourg as well.
Of course. All their best players have Portuguese names.
Yeah.
One of the official languages in Luxembourg is Portuguese.
Yes.
Fair enough. But I don't think we have anything else unless anyone can think of anything.
No. Do we want to predict the national team games?
I'd rather not.
Portugal's winning.
I'm fine without it.
No, you can. I'm joking. You can predict. I
I-
predict I will not be watching.
I probably won't be watching the first game because I'll be at work.
Yeah, first one's probably a no. I'm probably watch the second one.
Who are we playing again? I don't even remember.
Slovakia and Luxembourg.
You know what? We're gonna draw points to Slovakia, knowing our luck. We're gonna.
That's on the road, and Luxembourg's at home.
Yeah, we'll tie Slovakia away like 1-1, and then we'll probably beat Luxembourg like 3-1 at home.
Yeah, fair enough. Chris, Danny.
We'll probably win both, but it might be ugly.
Oh, I don't expect it to be beautiful at all if we win. Like, it's not been very exciting football, even against like the micronations we played.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let me say the one good thing coming out of this international break is Braga play Moreirense on the Saturday. I'm just noticing now, so they'll be without Ricardo Duarte.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go green and white.
Green
And
white
yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna predict them to win. Let me also just predict Daniel Povins gets stuck in a locker in Greece.
It's tough. I forgot about Daniel
Again.
Povins.
And I'm a short king, but fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck. I'm a short dude too. Fuck Daniel Povins.
Nah, he's on the George Mendes carousel.
Well, he's on the Richard Neff shit
He's
list,
repeating
so-
stops on the carousel, bro.
Yeah, he's going back. He came from Wolves.
He's
too,
not even
from
making
Olympiacos
new
to
stops.
Not even going,
bro.
yeah, like no Valencia, no. Like I'm trying to think of the other Spanish.
Like
Mix
no,
it
like
up,
random,
bro.
lower random, like Italian team or something.
Famalicão is his next stop.
Famalicão. You can't get a Middlesbrough. Like you can't go to the championship at least. You know, like
he keeps it up. Famalicão will be fucking his next stop or something.
Yeah, true.
hopefully, brother.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I guess we'll call it there. Before we wrap up, make sure to check out the YouTube channel. We uploaded a video recently, top 10 next breakout stars from sporting. Make sure you give that a good gander. But without further ado, let me say goodbye and make sure you follow these guys on X. Make sure you follow Chris there. You follow Richard there. Follow myself here. And of course, you can follow Danny there as well. But most importantly, follow us on 88 Alvalade on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, which I don't even know exists anymore, to be honest. But follow us there if you want to.
I gave up on Threads.
I think everyone did. That's fine.
You're not the only one, probably. Yeah.
So, like they got how many billions of viewers? Like
I made that,
people,
and I'm like,
they all came
I'll
on.
do something on Threads. I'll post it on the story. That way, I'm more active on Instagram. Fuck that shit, brother.
We gave up on that.
Fuck that, man.
But yeah, make sure you follow us
until
on-
Twitter comes like crashing down hard, like
Yeah.
or-
Which could happen.
It
Like,
could happen. Like
Give it
Elon
2
Musk
weeks,
is
man.
on it. It could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure to follow us on Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your good podcast from, we'll be on there. But once again, thank you for watching and peace.